Tonight, the Texas Rampage take on the Sugarland Express at Hagar Stadium in Dallas, Texas. Stay tuned for all the excitement of the Texas Football League on Cable Access of Dallas.
In a recent worldwide educational test, the United States didn't rank first,
Korea,
or second,
Taiwan,
or even third.
Switzerland.
It seems while the rest of the world raised their educational standards,
Scotland,
we didn't.
Slovenia,
So we came in
Spain,
14th.
the United States.
And 14th is no place for our kids to be. For a free booklet of simple things we all can do to help raise standards, call 1-800-96-PROMISE.
Who is that swimming?
You're doing good, Al.
I'm swimming.
Try to get your legs up.
Like this?
Yeah, legs up.
That's the way. Where's your kicking, Al?
That's right.
That's it.
I'm almost there.
Okay.
I'm almost there, Mommy. I'm almost there.
Whoa, you made it all the way.
If you don't stop your friend from driving drunk, who will?
Good job.
Do whatever it takes.
Are you having a good time?
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Texas Rampage semi-pro football contest here on Channel 23B. Tonight, I'm alongside Patrick Cortez. My name is Robert Eicher. We welcome you to Hagar Stadium here on the campus of Jesuit Prep in Dallas. And cheerleaders now taking the field, as it looks like members of the Texas Rampage are headed towards the field where they will be introduced shortly. Tonight they will be taking on the Sugarland Express from down in Sugarland, Texas. And Patrick Cortez, we were able to see a pretty good contest last time out when they took on the Metro Magic. The Texas Rampage did. Came up a little bit short against the Magic, but we did see a couple of good players, learned some names in that contest. What about these guys? They've got some pretty good talent on the side of the Rampage.
Yeah, they sure do. The Texas Rampage really do have a talented football team in it, and it's led by quarterback Mike McDade for the Texas Rampage. He's a 6'5", 220-pound quarterback out of the University of Tennessee. But Robert, one problem. Last game that the Texas Rampage played, he broke his foot. So therefore, he's gone for the rest of the season, and they're going to have a big game tonight from Carl Davis, who's 6'4", 200 pounds out of Roosevelt High School here in Dallas. Carl Davis is going to take over. He's going to have some big shoes to fill, as in the last game that we televised here on Cable Access, we drew so many comparisons between Mike McDade and Randall Cunningham. They're both tall, big quarterbacks with great arm strength and a great ability to maneuver within the pocket. So Carl Davis is going to have a big task ahead of him this evening. And just in case he goes down, Bernard Stiggers will be the backup quarterback. He, of course, last game we saw played wide receiver out there. He's a 5'9", 165-pound back out of Hillcrest High School. So once again, Mike McDade, the star for the Texas Rampage, is going to be out of this contest.
And the players from the Rampage now, they are getting ready to come onto the field, and I think we will have introductions for at least some of those players. We're not sure how all that is going to come about, and now I think the Rampage, they're going to have a moment of silence there before taking the field. It looks like it should be a pretty good night for football. Better than last time anyway. I think fall has set in here in North Texas, and it's a clear night. Should be cool. Not as much wind as there has been recently, at least not that I was able to tell. I think that should be a pretty good thing. Just a clear, beautiful night for football.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous evening. A little bit on the cool side, which is what you want when you want to play a little football. And it's good, as you mentioned, about the wind, because that means that Carl Davis is not going to have anything to worry about, nature-wise at least, to throw the football this evening. But one person that is going to have to pick up the slack, other than Carl Davis, is going to be Mike Moore. He, of course, is the running back, 5'10", 205 out of Baylor. His number is 22. We drew so many comparisons to Mike McDade and Randall Cunningham. Well, I think comparisons are due with Mike Moore and number 22 and another 22 that plays for a team here in Dallas, Emmitt Smith. Of course, he's not the talent that Emmitt Smith is, but he runs like Emmitt Smith. He has the same maneuverability as Emmitt Smith does, and he runs powerful. He's just an incredible running back, and he left a lasting impression on me the last time that we watched this Texas Rampage Ball Club play.
Well, I think that Mike Moore and Emmitt Smith look to be similar in stature. Moore is about 5'10", 205, and he's out of Baylor University, so he didn't have far to go to come up here and play his college ball. And things just about to get underway. Then we see a cheerleading line. These are some young ladies that brought in. They actually dressed in uniforms that resemble those of the Florida Gator cheerleaders. They're here nevertheless to root on the Texas Rampage. You know, talk about the running backs that we have, and I already talked about Mike Moore here for the Texas Rampage. They also have Rod Scott, number 33. He's out of North Carolina State. He did some solid running for him last time. And then there's my man, number 3, the big man, Ed Canty. Where's number 3? He's 5'11", and he goes 250 pounds, Patrick. He's out of Livingston College. He fills in at fullback, and what I tell you, when you give him the ball, you might as well be trying to tackle a Mack truck coming through there.
Yeah, Ed Canty is one of those players that's rare. He's a big guy, but he's really quick on his feet. And at 250, when he lines up in the backfield, Robert, he's essentially another lineman who's lead blocking for those Mike Moores and those Rod Scotts, like you mentioned. He's just an outstanding back for this Texas Rampage team. He's had a couple tryouts with the Green Bay Packers and Atlanta Falcons in their training camps, and he definitely does an incredible job with his lead blocks at being 250.
Okay, and it looks like players from the Texas Rampage making their way towards the field. And we should be ready to go here shortly.
Last time when we saw this Texas Rampage team play, we noticed how much these players really care for the game of football. They come out here, they don't get paid anything, they don't get any enjoyment out of it. Oh, excuse me, wrong word. They don't get anything out of it other than the pure fact that they get to play the game, and it could be a stepping stone for them to go to the NFL or maybe some to the CFL. And these guys, they really take it to the extreme. They play by NFL rules. They had a training combine. They had a draft. And so these guys are serious when it comes to this football, and they really put out a good product. Coach James Eisenberg does a really good job of putting together a quality team and a quality product for the fans that they can enjoy some quality football.
At this time, I would like to announce the Texas Rampage game roster. Number 1, Bernard Stiggers, wide receiver, 5'9", 165 pounds.
Here comes number 1, Bernard Stiggers.
Number 2, Dwayne Hill, 170 pounds from Texas A&I.
Dwayne Hill, wide receiver.
Running back from Livingston College. Number 4, Carl Davis, quarterback.
There he is, the big man, Ed Canty,
High School.
lumbering onto the field there.
Number 16, Brad Bridges, 170 pounds, Navarro College. Number 22, Mike Moore, running back, Baylor College. Number 33, Rod Scott, 210 pounds, North Carolina State. Number 34, Reggie Jackson, 250 pounds, Arkansas Tech. Number 42,
Yeah, number 34, Reggie Jackson,
running back, 185
playing tonight.
pounds.
Could he be Mr. October? Do you think?
Oh, when you said that name, it brought back vivid memories of 3 home runs in a
Number 34,
World Series
Cedric
game.
Henderson.
I'm not sure. He didn't really look like the
205 pounds.
Yeah, many of us are used to hearing the name Reggie Jackson at this time of year. Of course, something else is going on right now, Major League Baseball playoffs. Heard some speculation on the way Ken Griffey Jr. was hitting the ball. Could there be a new Mr. October?
That's a very good point. He's just an incredible young man. I mean, at the age that he's doing what he's doing, he's just got a lot of years in the major leagues, and he's going to be a bright star for them.
He will indeed.
Derek Dixon, number 69, guard, 290 pounds from Wilmer Hutchins. Number 72, Jamie Stacks, center, 280 pounds, Marcus High School. Number 74, John Simons, guard, 280 pounds.
Number 72, Jamie Stacks, center for the Rampage. He's out of Flower Mound, Marcus. Coming on the field, lots of local talent.
Stephen F. Austin.
Offensive linemen getting some recognition now, which is something they don't usually get.
Yeah, that's true, and it's deservedly so. As last time when we saw the Texas Rampage play the Metro Magic, Mike McDade had a lot of time to sit back in the pocket and find his receivers, and they did a good job of giving McDade the opportunity to work within the pocket. And they're just gonna have to let Carl Davis have a couple more seconds on the clock tonight if they're going to be successful, because Carl Davis has not been getting the reps that Mike McDade was, and so Davis is going to have a little bit more time to set up and throw the ball.
Well, it will be interesting to see Davis showcasing his wares tonight. I don't really know what to expect from him. Now, McDade is 6'5", 220, and they have a Davis listed here as 6'4", but only 200 pounds. Doesn't seem like too terribly much of a difference on paper, but just from up here, Davis seems to be a bit slighter. But you can bet that it shouldn't hurt him any at all. You can figure he ought to be ready to go.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that the Rampage are going to vary from their game plan that much, because watching them in pregame, it seemed like Davis had a pretty strong arm, as McDade does. And mobility-wise, you couldn't really tell, of course, by watching them pregame. But I don't think that the Rampage are going to be deviating much from their game plan, which is a good combination of downfield routes and a lot of Mike Moore off tackle. So I think the Rampage are still going to, they're not going to miss much with the loss of McDade. Of course, he's going to, because he is their offensive leader. But Davis is going to step in and I believe, doing a fine job.
Roosevelt, Williams, University of Texas in Arlington.
Roosevelt Williams, a defensive back now at Texas at Arlington. Defensive players now also getting their due. And defense, it is often said, is what wins you ball games. So the defense, of course, will have to come out tonight against the Sugarland Express and try to shut them down. As far as the offense goes, when you got running backs like that behind you, I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of pressure on Carl Davis. I mean, if things, worst comes to worst, he can pretty well just hand the ball back to those guys and let them do the rest. That seemed to be pretty well what McDade was doing last time. It seemed like they only threw the ball either when they had to or when they wanted to, which I guess is a situation many coaches want to be in.
Right. And but then again, you never know with Sugarland coming out, knowing that McDade is injured, knowing that he can be such a threat when he's back to pass, that they may be able to key on Mike Moore and Rod Scott and shut down the run. If that's the case, it's going to force Davis to pass, and if he can't come through the clutch, then the Rampage are going to be in for a long evening. But if Mike Moore is able to run the ball successfully, despite the fact that Sugarland may be throwing 8-man fronts at him, then it's going to be a long night for Sugarland.
Gregory Peace, defensive end, Adams High School. Number 99, Chris Coleman, defensive end, Bishop College. And the rest of the Texas Rampage team and the coaching staff, headed by David
And so, all the Texas Rampage players have been introduced, and we should be ready to go here in just a matter of moments. Although I still don't see members of the Sugarland Express team ready to go yet. We'll have to wait on them. Wonder if this might be a psych job on the part of the Sugarland Express, taking their time getting out here.
Could be.
Could be. A lot of teams kind of get antsy about that because the Rampage look like they're fired up, but if they have to wait, it could take the wind out of their sails, possibly. Possibly. We don't know. It's still too early to tell all that yet, and now I do see the Express making their way towards the field. And so,
don't bang the mic around.
About a medium-sized crowd here tonight. Still plenty of time for them to filter in as we approach kickoff time. Can't imagine where they would all be. As we said, this is just a great night for football. This is football weather.
Definitely, this is football weather. And, yeah, anybody in the area should be out watching this Texas Rampage. It's just a great game, and it's a great product that they put out on the field.
And, of course, it is one of those things that I think will, just take a little time. Had a chance to talk with James Hawkins, who is, high up in the Rampage organization. He's like their CEO. He's done a lot of marketing and everything as their general manager, as a matter of fact. And, of course, they're really trying to, spread awareness throughout the community. He was telling me that they've had ticket giveaways on a number of organizations.
About 7:20.
Sugarland Express getting ready for a final word amongst themselves before they hit the field.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, for the visiting semi-pro football team, Sugarland Express, Carolina. Benny Keener, Courtney Morrell, Carlos Jordan, Daylon Henry, Robin Granger, Ernest
Members of the
Thomas,
Express now being introduced to the fans here in Hagar Stadium.
Brian O'Keefe, David Kaiser, E.J. Cobb, Bruce Whitaker, Johnny Hobley, Cedric Johnson, Roger Beiser, Demetrius Harold, Dwight McDonald, Johnny Garcia, Eric Juarez, Billy Wright, Bevan Walker, Fred Williams, Phoenix Lacey, Kurt Martin, Odie McLean, Devon Hawkins, Demetrius Bryant, Oliver Taylor, Will Thomas, Andre Porter, Glenn College for Benny Keener, Richard Craig, Anthony Mulkey, Stephen Armstrong, Don Gentry, Dante Henry, John Cadogan, Bobby Adawat, Chris Gunter, Darren Elkins.
And as we looked over the Sugarland roster before the game, it was interesting to note that some of the players, I mean, the Sugarland team had a couple guys from the CFL. They had one guy that played for the Houston Oilers, the guy who played at Nebraska. So along with the Texas Rampage, this Sugarland team also has a lot of talent that has played high up, some in the CFL and NFL, like I mentioned. So this is not short of talent, if that's what you're thinking semi-pro football is. These guys really have a lot of talent that are coming out here playing tonight.
These guys do have a lot of talent. I think the thing with many of them is maybe the talent needs to be refined or just, pushed up just a bit more so that they can take their play to the next level. And another interesting thing about the rosters for these two teams, Patrick, that I've noticed, the Sugarland Express had two guys from the United States Army, or who had served previously in the Army, on their team. Had another young man who is from the United States Marine Corps, and there's at least one player that I know of on the Texas Rampage roster. He's offensive tackle Raymond Rush, it is John Simons, who's an offensive lineman. He was in the United States Marine Corps, and he goes 6'7", 280. So a lot of these guys, after their high school days were finished, their days of playing high school ball, went to serve their country and went to work for Uncle Sam before they could continue their football days here at semi-pro level. And it looks like we are only moments away now from the kickoff. The toss of the coin should be coming soon. And it looks like the captains are about to head for midfield. For the Sugarland Express, their captains are number 94, Demetrius Harold, number 56, Cedric Johnson, number 84, number 44, Robin Granger, number 84 being E.J. Cobb. For the Texas Rampage, number 21, Jimmy Hooker, number 2, Dwayne Hill, number 99, Chris Coleman, two more Rampage captains that I can't see right now because there are some big bodies in between them and me. We'll try to get their names for you as soon as possible. appears the Express have won the toss and they have elected to receive. They will be defending what is, I believe, the south end of the stadium. The other two captains for the Texas Rampage turned out to be number 67, Mike Roy, the man with 2 first names, and number 11, James Foster. So now that the toss is complete, we should be ready for football in just moments.
Probably 23B. There's on a control box.
Have 4 officials for tonight's game, and they are getting the teams ready to come out onto the field. Express have broken from the sideline and are lined up to receive.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to address to you that there are concession stands under the press box as well as on your side of the stadium.
And here comes the Texas Rampage, ready to kick off. And back deep to receive for the Sugarland Express will be number 2 and number 88. Oliver Taylor, number 88. Checking the lineup for number 2, turns out to be Dwayne Armstrong. He's a wide receiver. Set to kick off for the Rampage will be number 16, Brad Bridges. He has the ball teed up. Waiting the official signal. There's the whistle. And we are underway. Kick is fielded inside the 10-yard line, and he wants to bring it out. And number 2, Dwayne Armstrong, is brought down at about the 25-yard line, and the Sugarland Express will set up shop there, just across the 25 at the 26, 1st and 10. Quarterbacking the Sugarland Express will be number 11, Dwight McDonald. He's 6'1", 195 pounds. He's out of Tarleton State University. And we will try to set the rest of that Express lineup for you. Defensive lineup for the Texas Rampage will be number 77, Sam Haynes. At defensive end, number 60, Ben Perkins. Number 99, Chris Coleman at offensive tackle. And number 93, Gregory Peace at the other defensive end. We'll set the rest of that alignment for you in just a moment. As on 1st and 10, we have an I formation. 2 wide receivers go to the far sideline, and before we can even run the first play, timeout is called by the Express, as there was obviously some confusion there, and boy, that is not a good way to start.
No way. Sugarland goes out on their first play from scrimmage, and obviously quarterback didn't like what he saw and had to call a timeout. That's definitely not what you want before you even run a play in this contest. That just did not set a tone, and losing that timeout could come back to haunt them late in the second quarter.
Meantime, here's the rest of the defensive alignment for the Rampage. At linebacker number 58, Mike Sims. At linebacker number 50, Philip Perkins. Also at linebacker number 9, Albert Jones. Defensive backs will be number 7, Marcus Compton. Number 21, Jimmy Hooker. Number 20, Isaac Barrett. And number 8, Ben Molina. Still a bit of confusion down there as the official still has not set them to play. We're 1 minute 11 seconds into the contest. The opening kickoff being the only play run so far. I think the confusion now may have been about how much time should be on the clock. As I noticed, the clock did continue to run even after the kickoff. You know, as things were set, the clock should have been stopped when the whistle was blown on the kickoff, and now I think they're trying to get that set. Kickoffs normally don't take 1 minute and 11 seconds. And now they have reset it. Looks like 14 minutes, 45 seconds should be an agreeable figure here. So instead we're only 15 seconds into the first quarter of play, the Express having already burned 1 timeout. And now number 11, Dwight McDonald, will bring the Express up to the line of scrimmage, and this time hopefully ready to run their first offensive play. It's an I formation in the backfield behind McDonald. Wide receiver split to each side. The handoff went to number 30. That would be running back. Don't see his name on here yet, but we'll try to get that for you. At any rate, he was brought down by number 71 for the Texas Rampage. Stopped in the backfield, as a matter of fact. Should be second down, and we'll call it 15. So things definitely not going the way the Sugarland Express would like it to so far. They burn a timeout before they can even run their first play, and when they do finally run it, it results in a loss of yardage. Same formation this time, I backfield behind McDonald, and it looks like one of the offensive linemen left early. Probably...
It was the left guard who jumped, and that's...
The guard on the left side would be number 57, David Kaiser. He's out of Houston St. Thomas High, 6'2", 265, and that will cost the Express 5 more yards.
Not a good start to the game by the Sugarland Express. Coming out here, a lot of misconfusion on the first play. Had to call a timeout. Then they get stopped in the backfield by the Rampage, and now this a false start, so they're quickly faced with a second down and over 20 yards. And this is definitely not the way that you want your game to start if you're an Express fan.
Definitely not the way you want it to begin if you're a coach or a player, as the Express are moving in the wrong direction in a hurry. So now they're faced with second down, and we'll call it 25. They need to get just across the 35-yard line for a first down. Second and 20 is probably more accurate. So now McDonald drops back to pass, and he is swarmed by the Rampage defense. It was originally number 93, Gregory Peace, who forced him out of the pocket, and then 2 more Rampage defenders were able to wrap him up.
Sam Haynes, number 77, did a great job of finishing off the quarterback McDonald for Texas Rampage. He came in there from his defensive inside and just did a bull rush right past the left tackle and got right to the quarterback McDonald, who didn't have any time to throw the ball. And also a good job by the Rampage secondary to not let the receivers get open.
The ball is spotted exactly the 10-yard line. They need the 36 for a first down, so we'll call it third down and 26. Two wide receivers come to the near side, only one back behind McDonald. As he drops back to pass, he's looking downfield from a 0-0, and it's picked off by number 21, Jimmy Hooker. He is running back towards the goal line, and they didn't stop him, and he steps out of bounds. They're going to spot him just this side of the 10-yard line. So they drop back for their first pass. Jimmy Hooker read it all the way, and he almost had 6 points.
Yeah. That was pretty much an ill-advised throw by McDonald. His receiver wasn't even anywhere in the area yet, and all Hooker had to do was just stand there and wait for the ball to come down to him. Of course, not to just get down on McDonald, he did have a lot of pressure once again coming from Sam Haynes.